Welcome to the first ever Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. If you had told me a year ago that I would be reviewing Mega Construx, formerly Mega Blocks, sets at some point in the future, I would have laughed in your face. Because after all, Mega Construx is just a Lego ripoff, right? Wrong. Over the past couple years, they've been really changing stuff up and kind of doing their own unique thing, stopping their, pursuit of trying to be Lego. And they've become more of an action figure line than a Lego wannabe. So, I decided to try some of them for photography because they're so small, but the figures have a ton of articulation, which we'll see in a little bit. So I got a few of the Halo ones, and then I found this at a Dollar General and was able to get it for a pretty good price. It is sealed because it was actually cut open by somebody in the store. But as far as I know, all the pieces are there, so let's get all of the pieces out and take a look at what's inside. So before we actually get the pieces out, I just want to take a look at the box. It looks pretty nice design-wise. The colors are pretty nice. You can see what you get. You can see other sets as well, but I really don't like them. Any Mega Construx boxes. And the reason being is because these are not pictures of the real things. These are CG renders, and it makes the figures and all the details on the figures super crisp, and they look amazing. They look like they would be like 6-inch figures, and then when you get them out, of course, the detail is a little bit lower than that just because they're so small, and it can be kind of a letdown. So that's my major nitpick with the boxes. So obviously I don't need a knife because this is already cut. So we have one bag of parts. It's a pretty thick bag. And these parts bags are not numbered at all. So in larger sets, I've heard that's a problem with trying to figure out what pieces go where. There's another one. The instructions are not a book. They're this big unfolding page. So I'll take a look at that in a minute. And there's the figure. And that is all in there. So obviously this is a small set, so this should be pretty easy to build. But I'm going to go ahead and sort the pieces out real quick. Need to open the bags before I sort, probably. Sorting them in the bag would be an interesting endeavor. This is also the first Mega Construx set I've actually built. Up to this point, I've just bought little Halo figures. I think I have 3 of those. But only one of them has just a little stand. Alright, so those are all the pieces. Now I'm going to sort them. So here's all the parts, somewhat sorted out. I didn't really do with any rhyme or reason. And you can see there's the parts of the figure over there, some treads, a lot of interesting pieces that don't look anything like Lego pieces except for the fact that there's studs. The instructions are, like I said, just a big sheet. It's more like building a model kit rather than a Lego set. So I can see, with the bigger sets, how it could be a little bit difficult. But let's speed this up a little bit and get this built. Just bear with me, because like I said, this is my first Mega Construx set. I have never built a Mega set before. So that is the finished product. That is the drone. I forgot to mention, if you didn't read the box, this set is called the Drone Attack. So this is the drone that is doing the attacking. We'll take a look at this in a moment, but first I want to take a look at the figure, and you might be wondering, what the heck, he's still in pieces. And I did that on purpose because I want to actually show you how to build him a little bit more in depth than you would see if I just put it in a speed build. As I mentioned before, I do have a couple of these figures, so I'm somewhat familiar with how they work. To start off, we'll take a look at the weapon. I believe this one is actually a bit bent. I might have to try to heat that up and bend it back. But so far, it looks like my set has been pretty free of quality control issues. There are 2 magazines included for the gun. It slides in there like so. And there's another even smaller one. So that's just kind of a normal one. And then there's the butt or the stock of the gun. So that's what that looks like. I would suggest gluing that in because that kind of comes out pretty easily and it would stink to lose it. But there's that. There's this little computer that's made with these 2 pieces. Hold on a second. How does this go together? Okay, there we go. It's kind of similar to a Lego one. It has a print. So maybe this is used for controlling the drone, possibly. And it can flip shut. Looks like there's a space for, maybe you could put a sticker or something there if you wanted to. And there's a few really tiny, hard to see ports on the side. So that's interesting. A stand is included. It's pretty cool looking, actually. I like the marble. The words kind of ruin it. Made in China. But if you display it like that, it looks cool. So now we have the figure itself. And I haven't built one of these completely like this before. So hopefully I can get this right. So I had to do a quick consult with the instructions to make sure I'm doing this right. And it shows you putting him together from a lot more pieces than this, but I don't know why he didn't come in a bunch of pieces. Looks like he's got a belt, so that's cool. And then the torso just kind of slides down. Come on. Get on there. This is difficult. So right off the bat, I can tell you that if you're looking at this set for a younger person, you might want to rethink. So there we go. I got it. It actually wasn't too hard once I got it in the right position. But again, if you're looking at this for like somebody under the age of 10, I might consider rethinking and going for something else. But we have this little armored vest, and the sculpt for this is actually really nice. Then we have the necessary head. So there's that. And then he also comes with this little tiny little pouch, which can be attached on either of these pegs, like so, or he can be attached back here, or potentially even back here as well. And then there's a backpack, which also looks like it might have attachment points for a pouch or something. And let's see, how does this fit on? Oh, I believe this is how it goes. And these things, I do have a figure with a backpack, and these things usually take some pushing and shoving to get them in the first time. Alright, so there's the figure all built up. Let me give him some accessories, and then we'll look at the articulation. So I just want to make it clear that I do not play Call of Duty, so I can't really vouch for the accuracy of anything in this set at all. I don't know about the drone. I don't even know what type of soldier this is. I just know that he's a soldier, obviously. But one thing I wanted to show you, you can stick that extra ammo magazine onto the back of his pack, so that reduces your chance of losing it, which is cool. You can see he's holding his gun, and you can get him to hold it like off to the side. You know, you can bring his hand up so he can get into some nice poses. Again, that reinforces my suggestion that you know, glue that. And in this hand, it's, I don't know, something's off with that hand. It kind of just floats around in there and doesn't stay in. So I don't know if it's just stretched out a little bit or what, but you know, be aware that you might get an issue like that. You can see he's on the stand, so he looks pretty cool there. And for articulation, you can get him all the way out like this, so you can have him T-posing in the middle of a battlefield. His elbow can bend like that. There's a swivel at the elbow, and the hands can swivel. The Halo figures' hands are pretty clip-like, and they're straight. This one actually looks more like a glove, and it's actually tilted a little bit forward, I guess, to accommodate guns better. I don't know if I like that or not, but it is what it is. His head can move all around. He can look up. He can look down. So yeah, that's a good range of motion. The legs can go straight forward. The knees can bend, and the knees have a good amount of friction too. So he can be sitting. His legs can go way back, so he can be like getting thrown by an explosion. Outward motion is pretty limited, like so. That's about it. And then he does have a waist swivel. Let me move in a little bit closer so you can get a good look at his face. So there's his face, and it looks pretty good on the box. Let me just see if I can get up. You can see, obviously, there's a lot more detail and all that. And he also looks a little bit stern and angry on the box, while here he looks maybe a little bit worried. But I think that's kind of interesting, actually. The paint work is actually very nice on here. The skin tone is pretty good. The eyes, for being so small, they look fairly alive. They don't look real dead. The goggles are nice. There's no paint on the strap, but still, it looks good. And most of the rest of the detail is molded and kind of like other plastic. So that's cool. The plastic is speckled a little bit, which is nice, adds to the realism. But I'll probably be doing some weathering to this guy. You can use shoe polish, actually, to weather figures quite nicely, and I'll talk more about that in a future review. But yeah, there's the figure. So there's what the figure looks like next to the drone. I'm going to give a quick look like that. So, again, I don't know what this thing looks like in-game, but it looks pretty interesting, and it went together fairly easily. There were a few sticky bits, but no major quality control issues, like I said. You can move it on the treads. The treads are a little stiff, so you kind of got to push it, but I imagine these will probably loosen up a little over time. There's a lot of interesting ways to build with Mega Construx, because they are not shy about making pieces specifically to build upside down. So that's kind of cool. Don't know what these are. Maybe grenade launchers? I really have no clue. There's a little red light up here. Maybe that's like the camera. Here's a machine gun, I'm guessing. And that's what looks like the magazine. There's actually a little handle back here, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe a mortar here. Little bendy antenna, which is pretty cool. And you can swivel this all around. You can move down, like literally blasting the ground in front of it, and it can tilt way up, anti-aircraft. And this whole thing is only 4 studs, and I don't think I actually have it sticking on there all the way. So you might have it fall off sometimes, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. I can think of a few interesting photos I can take with this. So looks pretty nice. I'm happy with this. Well, there you have it. That is the Mega Construx Drone Attack set. I'm pretty pleased with it. For the first Mega Construx set I've gotten, it's a pretty good set. Like I said, I was able to get it for a pretty good price. There was like multiple discounts that stacked. But the base price for this is $10. And I think that's a respectable price, especially since this is really a tiny little action figure with all the articulation that you can expect from an action figure. And he's pretty loaded with accessories. No shortage of those. The drone itself looks nice. Yeah, the only real downsides for me, at least with this set I got, was the hand being kind of weird and not really holding the gun. Like I said, I might have to, I don't know, maybe I can soften the hand a little bit and squeeze it together. And then the gun being a little bent. And then my major complaint with Mega sets overall, from what I've seen, is the renders on the box. I just really don't like those. But like I said, overall, this is a really good set, and I can definitely recommend it if you're looking for something to take some photos of, or if you're just a kind of a modern warfare, you know, you want to set up some dioramas of like modern warfare or whatnot, or if you're a fan of Call of Duty, I definitely can recommend this set. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And drop a comment down below what your opinion is of the Mega Construx sets overall. And I'll see you in the next video.